Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know. They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid.
That's the president's explanation on why he is pausing tariffs on most countries for 90 days, but he raised the import taxes on China to 125%. Good afternoon. I'm Curtis May.
Thanks for joining us at 4. I'm Lisa Gonzalez. This announcement's leading to an instant reaction on Wall Street. We saw it this afternoon. The Dow rose nearly 3,000 points today. The Nasdaq nearly 1,900 points. It's the second best day ever. And the S&P 500 was up more than 474 points. Now, the president and his Treasury Secretary calling the tariffs a successful negotiating strategy.
And while they are on pause right now, the trade war with China is heating up. Caitlin Norwood with today's stunning shift from the White House.
How can anybody be upset?
President Donald Trump abruptly pressing pause on the reciprocal tariffs he placed on most nations just hours after they took effect Wednesday.
We had to take the medicine. We had to go through the operation, and that's what we've been through, and a lot of presidents would not have done it. No president would have done it, I think, but it had to be done.
The Trump administration says the 90-day delay will allow for negotiations, claiming more than 75 countries have reached out to the administration to talk. But at the same time, the president is keeping his 10% tariffs on nearly all global imports and is increasing tariffs on China to 125%.
We have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it.
This all comes after more countries vowed to retaliate, the European Union promising to impose new tariffs on $23 billion worth of American goods, and China hitting back with an 84% tax on U.S. goods after the president followed through with additional tariffs on Chinese imports.
We'll see a lot of small businesses suffer, and small businesses make up a majority of the businesses in the U.S.
Some economists have said there is a good chance the U.S. will be in a recession if there are high tariff rates through the end of the year. The head of J.P. Morgan Chase also asked about the odds ahead of the president's pause on Fox Business Network's Mornings with Maria.
Do you personally expect a recession?
I am going to defer to my economists at this point, but I think probably that's a likely outcome.
The president says the countries who have not retaliated will see this pause. China's retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. are set to take effect on Thursday. Reporting from the White House, Caitlin Norwood, KCRA 3 News.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is criticizing President Trump for his tariff negotiating, saying the president is playing a chaotic game impacting very real people.
If you were planning to retire this year or thinking about retiring soon, Donald Trump's tariffs are like a brick over the head.
Schumer added the danger from Trump's tariffs has not passed and attributed his backing down to the reaction from across the country.
And I talked with KCRA 3 financial expert Kelly Brothers earlier today about the reaction from Wall Street investors.
Well, it was like a coiled spring, Lisa, really. This market was not sure who was going to blink first or when it was going to happen, but there had been so much damage done, so much selling done over the last 5 days, ever since the president's so-called Liberation Day, that everyone kind of knew eventually he was going to have to blink, that this was a negotiation ploy to get people to the table. And according to the administration, 75 countries have come to the table and said, we want to negotiate tariffs. And so this pause really brought a little bit of security and a little bit of optimism back to Wall Street. And the markets have been battered so far this year, but to have almost a 3,000-point gain in the Dow, major averages up anywhere from 8 to 12% on the day. 8 to 12%, I mean, that's a good year. That was just today. But of course, for example, in the case of the S&P 500, it basically cut in half the losses of the year so far. So it's not like we're back to the high water mark. We certainly are not. But this was sorely needed. And I think what happened, just speculation. Big meeting on Sunday between the Treasury Secretary and the President. They talked about this. Yesterday, not only was there selling in the stock market, but the bond market was acting very strangely. Yields were going up, not down. And that really caused, I think, the President and the Treasury Secretary to decide to move today and to take this step back and to kind of reset on the whole tariff front.